Okay, it's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street. Wayfare is a restaurant as well as being a bar where they serve handcrafted food and spirits. They put fine dining into a sandwich and they put fine booze into a glass. They have a 3-hour happy hour here every day from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And they also now have brunch on Saturday and Sunday, which is all new since Andrew Duhon left and went to the UK and came back. Andrew, welcome back.
Thanks, dude.
You look exactly the same.
Thanks.
Even younger,
I
somehow.
I got a haircut.
You got a haircut, that's what it was. Where did you get it in London or here?
Here.
Really? Why didn't you get your haircut in London where it must be in euros, I guess?
Because then it's 1.5 times more expensive.
Oh, really? Is it really? Is it really? Are you making? Well, aren't you making 1.5 times the amount of money that you'd make on Ferret Street?
Sort of, but you sell a CD over there, they want to buy it for £10 and you can sell it for $15 over here, so no.
Really?
Front.
So the cost of CDs is cheaper in Europe and the UK?
The exchange rate wise, it's the same because you're paying £10, which if you were to exchange for dollars would be about $15.
Okay, I'm totally lost
so
already. I thought that would be good. So you're making $15, but you're only being paying £10. Well, so you have to spend.
But I make $15 in the States because that's what I charge is $15 for a CD in the States.
Okay.
But in the UK,
that's £10.
Yeah.
So if you bought the £10 back here, you'd have $15.
Right.
So you're not losing anything.
No.
So you know what you need? You need a bigger truck.
Why does the truck involve?
I don't know. Put the CDs in. Meghan Harwell is here as well. Hi, Meghan. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Joe Toman is here as well.
Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Pleasure to be here.
Scoot on in so we can hear you.
That's
it. That's good. And Jon Hatchett is here as well.
That's right.
From the eponymous Jon Hatchett Band.
That's right.
Nice to meet you. How many people in the Jon Hatchett Band?
Anywhere from 3 to 6.
3 to 6. What a weird coincidence
sometimes.
that you'd be able to join a band that has your name in it.
Yeah, that is a weird coincidence.
So congratulations
on
that.
It just worked out like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Where does the Jon Hatchett Band play?
Well, we play at St. Rock every Monday night, but
in St. Rock at that place where they serve food now.
Well, no, the St. Rock Tavern, which is next door to that.
Okay.
We play there every Monday night, but not for August. That'll start up again in September.
In September 2015.
Go on tour. I guess that's what year it is. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, people listen to these shows, you know.
Oh yeah.
Back and forth. So if you're listening to this,
a year ago or something like
they could have listened to it in the past. Yeah, they could have been listening in 2014.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have even had 2015 yet. So they wouldn't have. Were you playing in there at 2014 as well?
Actually, I was. So I guess that.
So it would have been fine. It would have worked out great. How did you get the gig there at the St. Rock Tavern?
Well, I'm friends with the bartender, Miss Martha Wood. She's
Miss Martha
also
Wood.
a country singer.
Do you have to call her Miss Martha?
I guess you do. I wouldn't.
You do.
I wouldn't try anything else.
And she's a country singer as well.
She is.
And you're a sort of Western swing guy or something.
Something like that, Western swing, country, rockabilly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make you play. Wait, should we start off with a song?
Yeah, I like that. I like when that happens.
What do you say, Joe?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to
Meghan, we'll start off with a song. What the hell? We never do that.
All right, I guess I better go get my guitar.
We did that once
then.
before, and that was the day we got struck by lightning.
Okay.
Did that happen?
Remember that?
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that really ever happened or not, or that just was like a headache.
That's kind of what happens when you get struck by lightning.
Yeah, I guess you would get a terrible headache if you got struck by lightning.
Perhaps a little amnesia.
Could you survive?
Of course.
I think some people do.
People have. What kind of people?
The lucky ones.
What are the chances of surviving?
1 in 8.
0%.
Zero? I'm sure so people do survive, right?
Pardon?
Megan, you're not a statistician, are you? You're an attorney, right?
Correct.
And Joe, what do you do?
I'm a writer.
You're a writer?
Yeah.
I've got a fantastic bio about you, which I'm going to get to in a minute. John, what are you going to play here?
I think I'm going to play a song called Oh No Hobo.
Oh No Hobo.
It's an experience that my friend went through on a freight train in Mississippi about a couple of years ago.
An actual hobo?
Well, I guess so.
You have a friend who's an actual hobo who hops freight trains in Mississippi.
Well,
that's almost too good to be true.
I'm not sure what actual and not actual are anymore, but
it's art, bro.
It's art, man.
Well, actual are things that happened in the present or past or future.
Well, yes, in that case.
Okay.
Affirmative. All right, here's the song. of mine riding the NS line. They was rambling and smiling, riding high. Got off on Meridian, got back on again. It was the wrong train, headed over to Jackson. Got off again, started looking around. Nothing around, they miles and miles from town. Walking and walking, what did they find? A little car by the railroad where they could go hide. Oh no, something's wrong, all the hateful faces staring them down. Friends was just sitting there looking around, minding their own business, putting their packs down. Oh no, something's wrong, like we never seen no hobo before. Way out there in the wasted land, they don't want no strangers hanging around. Patrons there don't look so good, one staring at the wall, not saying a word. They found out in the back room with the Clinton Rebel photo and the folks playing pool. Hideaway is where people go to hate out loud. Ain't no place for a hobo trying to have a good time. Oh no, something's wrong, like I never seen no hobo before. Way out there in the wasted land, they don't want no strangers hanging around. KKK is sad and they always wrong. They ain't got no railroad, they ain't got no song.
Yes. That is an excellent start to Happy Hour. Jon Hatchett from the Jon Hatchett Band, thank you so much. And I see you still
My pleasure.
have a flip phone that says Samsung on it.
I do.
What
I have
year?
a flip phone.
What year was that made? Do you think?
I'd have to call the manufacturer.
Let's do it. We have time.
All right.
Look at that. I've never seen that. It's a tiny little flip phone. That's really great, and it still works.
It still works. Yeah, I'm waiting to get a phone call so I can show you guys what kind of crazy stuff comes through there.
That's going to be great. Who's calling? Does it have caller ID or whatever that's called?
It has caller ID. Yep.
So we'll be able to see
it
who
does
it is.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes
That's
it's
cool.
just unknown.
That is a good song. That's a song about being a stranger in Mississippi, which is a bad thing to be. That must have happened to you, I'm sure.
I've been a stranger in Mississippi before.
Yeah, what happened to you? Where did you get off?
Well,
out of the car?
this song is about some people that got on the wrong train, went to Jackson, and then they ended up at this bar that it was just like kind of a, one of those in-between places in the middle of nowhere. And people stared at them as they walked in. They couldn't really tell what was wrong until they went into the back room, and there was this huge mural of a KKK freight train.
A KKK freight train?
Which
Didn't know
is
they had their own
imaginary.
freight train.
They don't, as far as I know.
Ship
And,
KKK people around. Yeah.
Yeah. So then they were like, oh, that's why this place feels so weird. I guess it's just a story about with no real conclusive ending, just being in that middle ground where...
That's happened to... I bet has that happened to you, Andrew? You ever walk into a place in Mississippi where they all stop and stare at you at the bar?
Yeah, but not
Me too.
with the KKK train in the back pool room.
I never had that. Joe, have you ever had that happen to you?
No, I have not. Although I did just go into a place in Kiln, Mississippi the other day that had an enormous Confederate flag over the top. It's called the Broke Spoke.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Kiln, Mississippi?
Stopping by at a gas station on the way through. It right across the street had the bar called the Broke Spoke, and I can't resist going into a dive bar. So
You can't resist it.
I can't.
Really?
Huh.
What did you have to drink in there?
I asked what they had for beer, and I was told all they had was beer. So I ended up
That's a
with
great answer.
one of the Lazy Magnolias. I think they produce it right there.
And you sat down in the bar and had a beer
Yeah,
with the
absolutely.
locals at the Broke Spoke.
It was the 4th of July, so I was the only person in the bar besides the bartender.
Well, that's a sad situation. You were by yourself in a car in Kiln, Mississippi on the 4th of July.
Well, it was actually me and 2 other folks. It was your cousin Dimitri from WOZ and my girlfriend Angie. And we
Okay,
had
that's
stopped
pretty
by.
good.
So
you and your girlfriend Angie took cousin Dimitri off from WWOZ out for a drive.
Yeah.
The weekend.
We headed out to Biloxi, but we stopped through Kiln on the way.
Okay. And what made you take your cousin Dimitri with you on a romantic 4th of July weekend?
I think it was more his idea than mine because he's a big fan of kitsch, and there's a gas station right off the exit there in Kiln, Mississippi that has a huge memorial to Brett Favre.
I bet there is.
That's
Wow.
where he's from.
And so cousin Dimitri wanted to go out and see
the Brett
the
Favre
Brett
mural.
And your girlfriend Angie said that would be great.
Yeah. Well, she didn't exactly say that, but
She didn't. She said, "Why does
she was
fucking
along for
cousin
the
Dimitri
ride.
have to come with us
It was
every
more
goddamn?"
like that.
Was there anybody barbecuing at the Brett Favre Memorial for 4th of July or anything like that?
To be honest with you, it took only 5 minutes for somebody to come up to us and let us know that they were Brett Favre's second cousin.
Oh, right.
Okay, nice.
It did take about 2 minutes.
And cousin Dimitri
About 5
is
minutes.
actually, is he from Russia actually, or does he just have an accent of some sort?
He is Greek,
Greek?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they wouldn't mind that over there, would they?
although he claims he's from Tuscaloosa, so I might have just let the cat out of the bag.
Okay. He's got a definite accent. I thought he was Russian with a name like Dimitri, but I guess that could be Greek as well, right?
Greek.
Yeah, apparently.
Did you go to Greece, Andrew, on
No.
this trip? Where did you go?
Just the UK.
UK?
Yes.
Because sometimes you go to Spain on these
Yeah,
jaunts.
yeah, but not
So-
this time.
So tell us what happened in the UK.
Same thing that happens every year. Get
People
off in London and take the train Midlands and maybe as far north as Liverpool, I think, this time. And
You played in
shows.
Liverpool?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you go to any Beatles memorabilia?
No, I didn't have time in a lot of the places. Maybe I don't know how to say no to shows, but I just book a show every day, and then you don't have time. It's just like train, show, bed, train, show, bed, train, show, bed, plane, gone.
Well, that's what you're there for.
Yeah, totally. So,
Sometimes you go touring around, you meet interesting. Did you meet anybody interesting?
yes.
Who?
Okay, let me think about it. Ask somebody else a question. I can't remember.
I just got back
exactly.
from the UK.
Nice.
Too. Well,
What-
we were in Scotland.
Yeah.
Who were you with?
Edinburgh?
Cousin
Well,
Dimitri?
not cousin Dimitri, actually. It's just me and my husband. He had a conference there, so we went up and toured the Isle of Skye and all this stuff. But when we got back to Edinburgh,
Yeah.
we were in a bar, and my husband, who always tends to make friends with the most interesting person usually in the bar,
Sure.
and we started talking, and he was like, "Oh, I love America," and I always kind of like perk up when I hear that abroad. I'm like, "Well, have you been there?" You know, because then I would understand. And they're like, "No, I've never been there, but I love Glenn Beck." You know, and I'm like, "Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that, and why don't you go ahead and come on over to America?" And he's like, "Oh no, I have a rap sheet." And I was like, "Oh, is it just drugs? That's not a big deal. You can, we can figure something out." And he said, "No, it's not just drugs.
What is it? Did you tell
Oh, it was
him?
violent crime."
Did you tell him what you do for a job?
I did.
That you're a capital defense attorney?
Yeah.
And he could kill someone and you could get him off.
Well, that's not really how it works.
What do you mean it's not how it works? That's what you do all day, isn't it?
I don't think we've ever gotten anybody off.
What are you talking about?
Saved them from
You save them from being
death penalty,
often, but they have to spend the rest of their life in jail.
Yeah, but
So
they've never
the best thing you
they've
can
never
do for
escaped.
the best thing you can do for somebody, never escaped.
Escaped from some kind of sentence.
You couldn't help people escape. You definitely can't do that.
No.
Did you read about that woman who did that?
Yeah.
In that state, New York, somewhere, those
New
guys who
York, yeah.
escaped, who
Yeah.
got out?
Oh, yeah.
What was the deal? I just read the headline, but did you read that story, John? What happened?
I don't really know. I mean, you can never
Well,
really
make it
tell
up.
what really happened, but as far as I read, the inmates got their hands on some power tools, cut a hole through the garage, and did the whole Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah.
poop tunnel
Yeah.
crawl out.
But this woman,
Came out clean
whoever
on the
she
other
was,
side.
she gave them the power tools, and she was going to drive the getaway car. This is all from the headlines I got.
Right. I think I remember seeing that
Negan,
too.
you must know something about this. Don't you keep up with all this sort of stuff? Being in the death
Not
penalty biz?
not as much. I do just for kind of entertainment purposes sometimes, but my problem is I kind of root for the guy who's escaped. I don't know why.
Well,
doesn't everybody? Don't
Yeah.
y'all root for that?
Everybody wants
Yeah.
the
That
guy to
means
get
you're a
away
good
with it.
person.
Yeah, but that's why this case is so great, because the woman, he had sex with this woman and she got him out.
Oh,
And
I didn't.
She was
get
like
there.
his girlfriend in jail, and she was the art teacher or something like that. If they have art teachers in jail, do they?
It's a good story.
In maximum security prison.
Yeah, they have all kinds of teachers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's having sex with this guy, and she agreed to drive the getaway car as well, but she chickened out because she realized somewhere along the line, I've made a fatal mistake here, and now she's going to jail for 7 years for it.
Damn.
That's a folk hero in the days of the internet.
Could you imagine?
I
Could
guess
you
she's
imagine?
already been in jail anyway. She
Well,
works there.
yeah, she
you know,
works
so
there.
it's
I
not-
guess she just has to
She's
switch.
got friends.
It saves going home at the end of the day. You must be the coolest person in jail forever if you were the person who busted those guys out
Yeah.
and had sex with them,
Yeah.
wouldn't you think?
If we can
Sorta.
exclude the fact that they were actually very awful people,
Yeah.
like, we can
Well,
put
right.
100 years
Yeah.
distance between us.
Well,
Yeah,
what did
yeah.
they do that was so bad they might have killed somebody or whatever? What did they do, Megan?
I think they were.
They're
they were
murderers.
and that's why it's
Now
terrible
they're
that I
both-
want them to escape. But
Well, that is not
Yeah.
right. Well, you have some sort of affinity for murderers or something?
absolutely not.
It almost makes you as bad a person, I think. Yeah. I think, yeah. That's right.
What draws you to defending people in that situation? Just because you don't believe in the death penalty and
No, well, I used to be very ideologically pure and disagree with the death penalty. I recently had a child, and so I kind of moved away from that purity, I might agree with it a little bit more.
Why is that? Because someone might kill your kid.
Well, I guess it makes things a little bit more morally ambiguous. when
In
you have a
what
kid.
sense?
I don't know. Like,
Because you have a baby, now you have a child, so if somebody
Uh-huh.
murdered your child, you'd want to kill them.
well, I don't know. I haven't really thought it through.
Well, I don't want to put
That
words
is
in your
interesting.
mouth.
It is interesting, though. I'm putting my head around it too. The idea that once you have a child, it becomes morally ambiguous. I'm
What's the
interested in that
connection?
notion
What's the connection?
because I don't have kids, and it's already everything's morally ambiguous. But
Mhm.
Sure.
but I'm
It's
interested
because you
in that.
think too much.
Maybe.
Right.
It's just meant to be black and white, right, Joe?
Yeah, well, I'm a big
No.
fan of moral relativism, so I'm
What's
right
that?
there
Is
with
that
you.
is that the opposite of black and white, or is that black and white?
It means everything's in shades of gray.
Shades of gray.
everything's in
That's what I'm
shades of
talking
grey.
about.
Okay.
Grayscale.
Well, you believe in the death penalty?
No, actually, I don't. That's one of the things I'm very black and white on. I think civilized societies don't put their people to death because anyone that would commit crimes like that, I really believe, has some sort of either deficiency in their upbringing or deficiency in their brains, like their
Right.
actual
The kind of person that would kill another person.
wiring. Yeah, exactly.
And that's absolutely true, and that's what we see over and over again. But also, what drew me to doing this kind of work was just like, you have to defend the worst of the worst crimes, and that's what protects all of us from the government conducting a witch hunt because they decide they don't like you, or you're the wrong political party, or something else they don't like about you. That's why the government can't come and
The government.
yeah.
Who is the government?
Well,
And the person of what? The FBI? I mean, there's no such thing as the government. I mean, who would that be? The
I mean,
FBI
the
or
federal government. I mean, anybody who decides that you've committed a crime.
who would decide that?
Either the state DAs or the federal.
But you're talking about just a
attorneys.
regular person?
Yeah.
Like you, say. You're a normal
Yeah.
person and someone in the DA's office is going to decide you committed a crime. Isn't that a little bit paranoid?
Well, I mean, at the extreme example,
Well, that's what I'm talking
yeah, I
about.
guess it is a little paranoid. But I think that you do have to commit. If you believe in our free society, you have to defend the worst of the worst, and that's what protects everybody else who's committing maybe lesser crimes.
How about
maybe
this for an
jaywalking.
idea? I've suggested this before. That what if we had a justice system where everybody walks in the courtroom and they put their hand on the Bible or something, whatever they want to put their hand on, and they swear to tell the truth, and then they actually told the truth. Suppose that was the justice system.
That's
That's a
ridiculous.
novel idea.
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? And so there's the court case. Did you swear to tell the truth? Yes. Did you kill the guy? Well, yes, I did. That's the truth. And then it'll be all over.
Yeah. No.
How about that for an idea? Could
That
we
would
do
save
that?
a lot of time and money,
Wouldn't
wouldn't
it? And that would actually be justice instead of you
Well,
making
if
up a
that-
Yeah,
story.
what if money grew on trees, pigs flew, and like.
If that happened with
know.
the guy in the robe on the big stand
The
with the
river was made
gavel,
of whiskey.
he probably wouldn't be that
Well, you wouldn't
guy.
need. Well, someone would have to open the door at the courtroom. Someone has to,
Yeah,
make
but-
the coffee and all that stuff. So
You
if
know,
you could do all
it's
that.
likely that the high and mighty is corrupt and often, so.
But isn't that supposedly the system, Megan? Isn't it supposed to be the system? We're supposed to all tell the truth,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then nobody actually does.
Not everyone does.
You're
You
still
can't
in gray
always-
areas,
But you're
though.
saying that you're always assuming that the defendant is the one who's lying, and
No, I didn't say that at all.
oh, okay, well,
If the defendant was asked the question, "Did you murder this guy?" and he said, "No,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't," then we're at the end of that too.
But you still have gray areas there because there's such a thing as justifiable homicide.
Sure.
So if you said that
Oh,
if
okay.
I killed somebody, yes, I did, but the guy you killed isn't there to defend himself, so you have gray areas about what's justifiable.
Okay, well that's a
homicide.
good point. So justifiable homicide would be in self-defense.
Self-defense.
Okay,
or,
so
yeah.
you could ask that question: Did you kill the guy in self-defense? No, I didn't.
I believe I
Well-
did. That's a gray
Yeah, why
area,
and
too.
why are
Then
you
it
running
comes
with
down
this
to belief.
supposition that people would tell the truth? Why are you even starting there? That's like
I just think that would be a great
so
idea.
far out of
I just thought it'd be a novel idea
It's
for a
flying
justice
cars.
system.
That's more likely. Let's go with flying cars.
let's have
Okay.
a world with no crime. There you go.
Yeah, where's
No,
my
that would be
check
even
bag?
better. That's impossible. Though. So just look, I got awesome bios for both of you all here, but I want to get Joe. This is what the first sentence of Joe's bio. It says
Okay.
Joe Toman is an unpublished novelist, an unproduced screenwriter, a universally derided poet, painfully aware he was born in the 70s and still working as a server in a restaurant.
You do not want to hear my poetry.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about it. Yes, we do.
Now we have to hear
Do
it.
you do you have anything on you, or can you remember?
No,
a
I
poem?
can't remember a
That was his
slice
poet's
of it.
pickup line.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is not a single line I can recall.
Check his
Are
phone.
you serious?
No, there isn't. Absolutely
always
not.
make
I
it
have
up.
some memorized from other poets, but I would never recite my own.
Really?
Oh, no.
I would never have even thought of that, but it's a great...
My
you can't-
girlfriend's seen a few of them, and despite that, she's still my girlfriend.
They really are terrible.
No, they're awful.
But you're not really... Is any of this true? Are you really working as a server in a restaurant?
Yeah, I am. I work at Herb Saint.
At Herb Saint.
Yeah,
That is a cool
in
restaurant.
town here. Yeah,
so
it's
that's
a fun
good.
little spot. Yeah.
That must be good tips, right? People tip in euros or pounds there. Because there's 15.
Mostly dollars and almost always 20%, but
And
sometimes they get you.
So you work there like every day?
I work there.
A regular shift?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days a week.
Do they have a happy
now.
hour there?
No happy hour. Yeah, that's the one advantage this place has.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a fun place to work. I've been there about 4 or 5 years. I've worked
Right.
in the hospitality industry in New Orleans for about 10 years now, but mostly in that place.
And you're writing in the rest of the time you're a writer?
Yeah, I write on the rest of the time. I mean, there aren't too many of us that can make a living just on writing. There's not too many of us there are not too many people read anymore, to be honest with you. I'm a novelist by what I'd like to be able to do is be a novelist, but right now I'm writing the column for NOLA Defender.
Do you publish NOLA Defender? Or,
Yeah, I publish a NOLA Defender.
so it's that's NOLA Defender is an online
Yeah, I write
magazine.
a column
daily.
called Drinking Culture. Yeah, it's an online magazine.
And that was your idea?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
own it?
Yeah, that was no, not NOLA Defender. The column on NOLA Defender
Oh, you
called
don't.
Drinking Culture.
You're not the publisher. of
No,
NOLA
that's
Defender.
Ben Mintz. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my editor and publisher.
So you write a daily column.
I write a weekly column that are these. They're like ethnographies. They're I call them ethnographies, but they're narrative nonfiction pieces that happen in bars around New Orleans. I'm doing 52 bars or drinking establishments, drinking events in New Orleans in 52 weeks. I'm just finishing 44 right now.
You're looking in pretty good shape.
Yeah, well,
For
that's.
Are you working
And that's
out?
the only thing that matters is how you look. I
Yeah,
guess
hell
because
yeah.
I feel terrible.
Oh my God! You poor. What's
Wait,
it? You're drinking straight gin.
Yeah,
Do you drink that at all these events?
Yeah, I generally drink gin. I was telling you earlier, I drink
Yeah,
gin
on
in
the
the
bar.
summertime and the brown liquor in the winter.
And
So wait, so you're out searching for a good story at a bar, right?
Yeah, generally what I do.
How like what's your success rate? Would you say? Because you can go somewhere and just not get anything, right?
Those are actually some of those. That's an interesting question because after 44 of these, it's been, bars are pretty much the same. You go into a dive bar, there's a wood and there's a bunch of liquor and there's a couple of degenerates at the end of the bar, me generally being one of them. And you just sit there and drink for the whole night. And I'm generally kind of shy of crowds. I don't like to go into crowds during events and things. I like, like the old man dive bars. The ones that have been the best stories just end up being when you sit down next to somebody that has a good tale to tell. What I'm trying to do is a lot of people consider these things to be reviews, but I don't really consider them to be reviews. I mean, how are you going to review some of these bars that have been open for 100 years, like Henry's or, no one needs a review on those things. They stand alone. They're these drinking institutions. What I'm trying to do is go into these places and tell a story that would be typical of what would happen to you if you went into this bar. I actually did one on the St. Rock Tavern.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Where you play at. And I just try and capture what it was like. So instead of reading a review where you can see how much things cost and what everything looks like, you can actually read this piece and know what it would be like to go into that bar. And with they're being published into a book, we're publishing in October.
you have a book coming out.
Yeah.
What's that going to be called?
We haven't decided on a title, but the title of the column
good
is
help.
Drinking Culture right now, so it'll be something like a year with a drink in my hand or something like that. If anybody has a good idea, please
We
let me
can
know.
totally help you out with that now.
Yeah.
Got any ideas? John, you're a writer. Talking of drinks, we need
I
another
don't have
round of
many
drinks here
ideas.
somehow.
Maybe I can come up with one in a little while.
Yeah. What would you think of? What comes to mind
To call
first?
that?
Yeah. It's 52 stories.
Yeah,
about
52
drinking.
weeks. Yeah,
Once a
it's
week?
an entire year, one a week. Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that gets on the internet that people write all these, my year of being drunk is all fuck or something like that.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
That was, that's kind of, how they do my year of living by the Bible diet and my year of not washing my hair.
Wait, so do
Oh,
you,
it's good.
do you count on one visit always giving a story, or are you going to go back to the same place a couple times? if
It's
not?
almost always one visit these days, just because I work a full-time job as well,
Right,
so I
yeah.
don't really have a lot of time to go back twice. But some of them there have been return visits. But I'm familiar with most of these bars. I've gone into.
Strangely enough.
Yeah, oddly enough.
Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
I've been into them before.
It feels like the usual awesome dive bar exchange has a lot to do with the story that you have to tell and like sharing things. So do you find yourself kind of going through the motions of telling the same heartbroken sad bastard stories to these different guys?
No,
you know?
that's an excellent question, because that's something I've had to struggle with the whole time, but like keep a narrative that's, because I try and actually have a narrative where there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to each story that you go through, and I try and keep them all kind of fresh and new, and different things happen, and that's been the challenge, is to not make it stale, not like find a formula and stick with that formula.
Sure.
So it doesn't sound repetitive. So each
Exactly.
one is fresh.
Exactly.
But Andrew's got a point.
At least that's why I tried it.
Does it totally depend on who you run into on the night?
It can.
I mean, are you kind of just collecting like any story these people tell you to? Like if you go into a bar and someone tells you like a Vietnam War story or something like that, or like does it have to be about the bar itself? you know?
Sometimes it does. I mean, like places that I haven't been into, or places that I don't know a whole lot about, I'll get a little background. I'll talk to some people that go to that bar, that frequent that bar. Maybe I'll talk to the owner or something. You know, everybody knows everybody in this town. So if I'm going to a bar, more than likely I know somebody who owns it, or somebody who lives in the neighborhood that goes there all the time. I'll give them a call and I'll talk to them for a little while and ask them, you know, what the feel is generally. And then I'll kind of look for somebody that looks like they belong there.
Right.
And that's the person that I'll sidle up next to. And it generally just kind of, I get lucky a lot, I guess. But
Do you have to ask their permission to print these stories, or what?
I hope I don't, because I really never have. So
Well, we'll ask our attorney. Do you need someone's permission to write?
It's under the guise of journalism.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You don't need. Okay, so you have that on authority, good authority.
Yeah.
You don't need anyone's permission.
You heard it here first.
We never ask anyone's permission on this show.
No.
No one ever says you
What-
have the right to broadcast this or anything.
Feels like a fair assumption when you're talking into a large
The
diaphragm microphone.
yeah, that someone's going to listen to it.
Yeah.
This is a pretty interesting. This is going to be great. When's it coming out?
We're hoping to have it published in early October. The gentleman, Ben Mintz, who runs NOLA Defender, he took up Faux Real Fest. It's the Fringe Festival.
For real.
It used to be Fringe Fest here in town. He took that over, and it's been rebranded as Faux Real, so we're trying to get the book out in time for the new Fringe Festival, so we can kind of do some readings and
And when is that?
schlep
When is the
book.
Fringe Festival?
I think November.
You better get on it.
Yeah. I'll have them all done by the beginning of September, and then it's editing process. The contracts and stuff are being drawn up, and the printers are being contacted and stuff. We're on our way.
Got your
Wow,
artwork?
cool. How exciting.
We don't have the artwork yet. I know he has a couple of designers, but if anyone is interested in submitting,
Okay. Listen,
name
we
goes on the
need a
front.
couple of things to go on here. First of all, we need to talk about our sponsors, and we need to get another round of drinks somehow or other.
Yeah,
I can't get anyone's attention here.
I'll go over there.
The service is totally terrible here at Wayfare, isn't it? Can you believe it? They just
maybe they
ignore
just
us.
cut us off.
They
What should I say? Does everyone? Should I just say another round? Does
just
everyone-
grab one of the waitresses, I guess, and have them come over here, because they just ignore us completely here. They don't care about us. We just come here every week and set up shop. So, Megan, I want to ask you when we come back from this little break here. First of all, we'll just do this to talk about our sponsor. I want to talk to you about your husband.
Oh, yeah.
Do you mind talking about him?
No, I love talking about him.
You love talking about him. Okay, me too. What does he look like?
He looks like, what's his name?
Brad Pitt.
No, not Brad Pitt.
Herb Banner.
No, 90s actor. What's wrong with me?
90s.
Jurassic Park.
Sam Neill.
No, I met Sam Neill once, actually. But,
Did you?
Yeah.
He's from New Zealand.
In New
like me.
Zealand. Oh, yeah, I was in
Yeah.
the South Island.
You were in New Zealand.
yeah.
What were you doing there?
Is it Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Your husband looks like Jeff
Yeah,
Goldblum.
he looks like Jeff
Wow.
Goldblum. Yeah, thank you.
That's funny, because if you're listening to this show and you've never seen Andrew Duhon, he looks like Gina. What was her name?
Who?
Who was he married to, Jeff Goldblum? Remember that awesome looking woman, Gina something?
Oh, I don't.
Remember her?
When was this? Was I here?
Jeff Goldblum's
He's
wife.
recently divorced.
Oh,
I
okay.
follow him pretty
Okay.
closely.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on over. Okay, we just have to take a break for 1 second and order some drinks. Okay, what are we getting? What are you drinking, John?
I already ordered mine, but I'll take a margarita.
Okay. Megan, what do you have?
The whiskey, the third down whiskey cocktail. Okay. Yeah.
The slingshot.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'll have Bombay on the rocks. No fruit.
Andrew, what are you drinking?
I do a Green Flash IPA.
Green Flash IPA. That'll take care of it. Allison, are you drinking anything? You still got your drink. Okay, you're taking photos. Okay, Andrew, give me some sort of, romantic 15 euro song in the background. That's nice. Thank you to these lovely people for helping us out and making our show possible. It's like, what's that fucking terrible show called? Prairie Home Companion. God, I hate that.
love that show.
Guy's, I know you do. That guy's been threatening to retire for years and years. Every year he says, for like the last 10 years he said, I've never heard anything so boring in my life. How long does that show go on? Do you have any idea?
2 hours?
3.
Well,
Nobody's ever heard the whole 3 hours. It's the truth of the matter. Thank you to Petite Pet Care. If you're going out of town or you have a crazy schedule, the folks at Petite Pet Care will take care of your pet in his or her own home while you're out. For loving care when you're not there, go to petitepetcare.com. Thanks to Basics Swim and Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style. This is the wackiest background music we've ever had. The all-new Basics Swim and Gym is on Magazine Street, which is almost navigable down near Jefferson Avenue. Thank you to Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product, medically proven to prevent a hangover. If you go to the Hangover Destroyer website, hdestroyer.com, just write happy hour in the coupon code if you can see straight and get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, and you too can seize the dawn. Thank you too to unlistednola.com, the revolutionary new way to buy a house in New Orleans. If you know what you're looking for, you can find your perfect match before it comes on the market. It's the match.com of real estate, and it's called unlistednola.com. Thank you, Andrew. What do you call that?
fuck, I don't know.
That's a good title, actually. Yeah, that's a good title for it.
Thanks a lot.
You want to play something while you've got the guitar in your hands? What about
I can try.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, see, the thing is, Grant, the whole traveling and writing new songs is mutually exclusive, it feels like.
I
But
thought that would be a good time to...
but I figured maybe I could write something this afternoon. By golly, I did.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Why can't I? Yeah, here it comes. Sure as the sun sinking down, I can tell you where that old man can surely be found. Got his line in the water, his bucket on the ground. You know it doubles as a stool in an ice chest in a live well when they start getting a bite. Forget the words. They'll come back. Don't worry. Nobody panic.
You can do a scat solo if you want.
I should have whistled it out, yeah.
Good one.
Sometimes he catch 'em, and sometimes he don't. But you could say the same thing for the rich folks with the big fancy boats. But he's happy as he can be down there in his 5-gallon captaincy. When his ride starts to bend, he'll start reeling in and say, Lord, if it's a boot, I hope it's a size 10. Oh, he's as happy as he can be out there on his captaincy. 5-gallon captaincy.
Yes. The fabulous Andrew Duhon back from the UK. I love that. Is that really brand new?
Yeah.
That's great. It's 5-gallon captaincy.
Yeah, you caught it. I forgot to say it more times. Usually
Yeah.
a chorus should be repeated several times, and I did not do that. Thank you, sir.
It's a great chorus, the 5-gallon captaincy. That's almost, I hate to say this because I know you hate this, but it's almost upbeat, that song.
I was going to say it's like the least earnest thing I've played in months.
Yeah, it's nice. And the whistling bit, was that intentional or did you just do that to cover for...
I figured it would be good because, I mean, I'm just figuring it out today, but it sounds like it could use a solo in there, yeah.
It's nice. It gives it a sort of almost a sort of a Mayberry upbeat.
Yeah, it
kind
sounds
of
like the
feeling.
solo guy fishing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah, exactly.
That could work, sure.
Yeah, and Graham DePonte's here with sunglasses on. Hey, Graham, it's our fabulous producer. He's responsible for the whole thing. Hey, I like that. 5-gallon. It's a sort of a drinking song. 5 gallons.
No, it's a fishing song.
Oh, it's fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 5 gallons of booze.
See, I told you got to learn how to write a song that people get, you know?
But you can interpret anything you like, right? It
It's
could
true.
be a drinking song for me.
Yeah, but I think if
When I hear
was
5
to
gallons, I think of-
articulate the verses better, it would probably come off as a fishing song.
What do you think, John? As a
I think it's
songwriter.
great. I mean, as a songwriter, I like it. As the whole bucket concept, you know, that's something I've dealt with a lot in my life.
The bucket
I
concept.
have these friends. They like carry around buckets around the whole country. Like they're hobos or whatever, and they'll carry their packs, a musical instrument, a dog, and then they'll carry a bucket with them. Also, for just like you said, it's a cooler. It's a place to sit. You can I don't know. I would
That's
never
the
do that because it's too much to carry. You know.
The bucket, the dog,
The guitar,
the guitar,
and the
backpack. Well, the backpack goes on your back. The dog's walking, presumably.
Yeah,
unless
the
it's
dog walks,
dead,
and then the guitar in one hand.
and the guitar on the bucket.
and
That
the
doesn't.
bucket
That
in
sounds
the other hand.
doable.
It's doable, you know.
And you could also tie the bucket to the backpack.
You just put it right over your head and cut out eye holes too.
And if the dog dies, you can put it in the bucket.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the size of the dog,
That
if it was
reminds
5
me of a
gallons or
joke.
less.
If
I
it's
don't know if
dead,
I
you
can
can
tell
put
it
it in
now.
the bucket.
So the 5 gallons refers to a bucket. I didn't even get that. Did you guys get that?
The 5-gallon bucket.
Joe, you're a writer.
I was
Everyone's a writer here.
I was actually, when I heard the 5, well, I think that's kind of the beauty of a good song is you can get 3 or 4 different interpretations out of it. When I heard 5-gallon, I thought maybe like a 5-gallon hat.
That would be
Yeah,
a very
so,
small
yeah.
hat. It's a 10-gallon hat.
Yeah, or 10-gallon hat, yeah. Is
Well, a
that what it-
5-gallon hat would be maybe for an
That's
8-month-old
maybe
baby.
a small hat.
Gives you moral
Maybe it was in a
relativity.
small seat.
Yeah. I don't know. Why is it called a 10-gallon hat? Does it actually hold 10 gallons? I doubt it. That's just a name,
I have
isn't it?
no idea.
That's what people in
So I
Texas
thought
say.
5
These
gallon,
people
you
in
know.
Texas are ridiculous.
Really? The whole of Texas?
Well, you know, everything is
everybody.
bigger in Texas. You know, that thing, the 10-gallon
Yeah,
hat.
10-gallon hat is only actually 5 gallons.
Yeah.
Good point. Did you really think of that, Joe? You're just making that up?
It just popped into my head.
The 5-gallon hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if that exists now that you think about it. No,
5-gallon
yeah,
bucket,
yeah.
though, that's a thing, right? Everybody knows what a 5-gallon bucket is.
Well, I think it is.
Now
I
you're
know what it
questioning your
is, yeah.
song. No.
No, well, I just wrote it. It's first draft today.
You just
know, it's
wrote it
fine.
today.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
I'm gonna
pretty.
figure it out.
Right off the
Imagine that
cuff
you could
like
do
that.
that.
I think
just
you
write
should
a
stick
song.
with the whistling. That was a really nice part.
Right on, yeah.
We
We'll
might
do.
have to make you do that. Maybe we can make you do another song as well, John. Okay,
one's
first of all,
making me do
I got
anything.
this. I get a lot of bios, you know. Well, you know, make you force with one more drink. I get a lot of bios in this business, you know, and in fact, multiple numbers a week. But this is one of the best sentences I've read in a long time, and it's about your husband who looks like Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
It doesn't say anything. It says, and this is from you. It says, Megan, that you went to a residential boarding school for high school in Natchitoches.
Yes.
What is that? First of all, that isn't the best part of the sentence. I just want to
Oh,
get
it's
some color here.
yeah. It's like for.
Is it for naughty girls?
No, it's for like gifted kids.
Are you a gifted kid and they
Oh.
pack you off to Natchitoches of all places?
Yeah, right. And
Why don't we describe Natchitoches for those of us listening who haven't been there? It's
Sure.
it's a
Small.
one-horse town
Yeah.
on the river.
Yeah.
It's like the first settlement in Louisiana, I think, or maybe in
Yeah.
the world. I think it was the first city in the world.
Yeah, you're getting
I
there.
don't think it's the world.
Natchitoches,
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Babylon.
It's also, I was just there. I believe it's the home of the meat pie.
It's the home of the in the City of Lights. It's also
Yeah.
the City of Lights, not Paris. It's
Right.
not Paris.
City
It's
of
the
Lights.
City of
Natchitoches is
Yeah.
City of Lights. Okay.
The story is that so a Native American tribe had the chief had 2 sons. One was Natchitoches and the other one was Nacogdoches, and they were both he sent them in in opposite directions at the line of the Louisiana line. Or no, maybe it was like the Red River or something.
Yeah.
And they had to walk, however long it took them to walk one day is where they would settle. And so that's where Nacogdoches is in Texas, and that's where Natchitoches is.
Which one walked further?
I think they walked equally. They were equal.
Where did they start off?
I think the river, is it the Red River?
The Red River in Louisiana.
Yeah, in Louisiana.
And one of them walked to Texas?
No,
In a
from
day?
the state line.
It's right next door.
So he's already in Texas.
they're
He's
on-
the line.
That's the border of Texas there. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit geographically challenged. So Natchitoches is on the
Sorry.
border of Texas and Louisiana.
It's close.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And have you been to Nacogdoches or whatever?
No,
that
I've
is?
never been there.
John, have you been there as a hobo?
I don't think
With
so.
your bucket? No.
No
bucket, I mean bucketless
don't know
hobo.
that I've ever taken my bucket.
You
there.
don't-
Not
you
that
don't have the bucket.
I don't carry a bucket.
You don't care. You're
I'm
the
not even a
bucketless hobo.
Yeah,
You're not
I
really.
just-
You look like
I just
you
talk
could
about
be a
friends.
hobo.
You can steal a bucket when
I mean,
you get there, easy. You
there's
know?
buckets
you know,
everywhere.
buckets are-
You would
Yeah.
advise people to steal a bucket.
Yeah.
Why would you? How much
Because
is
you're
a
going to
bucket?
have more use for it than they will, and it's like $5. So, they can get another
It's
bucket.
a $5 for a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
But if you really
That's a
need
pretty
a
good
bucket,
line
like
right
you
there.
really need that bucket. Maybe you can't get another bucket.
That's right. Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean-
you got to decide. It's kind of one of these moral shades of gray. If I'm honest with you,
I appreciate
it.
It's kind of like a spirit animal, you know. If your spirit animal is the bucket, then all buckets belong to you, you know, in some way or another. I guess you could say.
I've been to that part of Louisiana and Texas. There's really no shortage of 5-gallon buckets
Yeah.
laying around on the side of the road.
And if somebody's got one
You're in good
that's
shape.
just sitting in their carport, and you happen to need a bucket, and you know that you need this bucket, they could be throwing that bucket away. You don't know.
That's socialism.
They could also.
They're not going to like that over there.
What about the
I love
possibility of them shooting you in the back as you walk off with their bucket?
This is a risk as a hobo that you're willing to take.
Okay.
Maybe don't do this in Texas.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, there's
bucket.
certain you have to
Or
make
Louisiana.
educated-
Yeah, or
don't do
Louisiana.
that.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of risks to take
good
for
in
a
the
bucket
UK.
if you're
You
in the
can do it in
country.
the UK.
In the UK, no worries. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not
They don't
guarding
have
their
5-gallon
buckets.
buckets over there, though.
What's a gallon in the UK?
I don't know.
Do they have gallons over there, or
not-
do they
I'm
have
not even
metric?
sure.
It's
They
like
might
a-
have metric.
It's like a 20-pint bucket.
Yeah, do they have like gallons or?
They might have something else.
I don't even
What's
know that.
what's the equivalent, the fluid equivalent in metric?
It's liters.
Liters.
Liters. Yeah, right. Well, we have. Why do we have a 2-liter bottle of Coke? Why does soft drink come in
Because
liters?
1 liter wouldn't make us as fat as we want to be.
But why? Why is it called liters when everything else is in? Why does that in liters? Is what I'm
That
saying.
I've never figured out. That's a good question.
Finally,
I could really use a
Yeah.
gallon of Coke.
if I do the
You
show long
stuck
enough,
it
I'll
on the
come up
Coke
with a
one.
good question.
Yeah.
Why is soft drink in liters? Somebody might know that. Does anyone know that? Graham. No idea.
Probably because
Okay.
there's more places in the world using liters.
But Coca-Cola comes from the United States. We know that. It comes from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, but they're shipping everywhere, right?
Couldn't
Yeah,
they
but they
make
have regional distribution centers.
do.
So they're
They
right
all
do.
too?
maybe-
Coca-Cola
yeah.
bottlers. Couldn't they give us a gallon bottle? I don't even know what 2 liters is in gallons. Is that like 8 gallons or something?
I think. Wait.
Some sort of X-file you
I believe
stumble
that's-
upon.
Oh, you know what? I bet you there's more gallons than liters. I bet a 2-liter bottle.
Oh, you think they're shaving ounces
Yes.
on us? I
No,
see
but
where
it
you're going
sounds
there,
like
yeah.
you don't want to buy a 6-gallon bottle. They- Oh, that's disgusting. I'm not going to drink 6 gallons of this, but I'll drink 2 liters. That doesn't sound like that much. I could be right off. Anyway, this is what it says here. Meghan went to the Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts, which means you were a gifted child. Now, where are your parents? Where are you living? Here in New Orleans.
They're in Dallas now,
But where were they living at this time when you were sent off? To
in
this?
Lafayette.
In Lafayette. Oh,
Yeah.
so that's not that far away.
No, it's about 2-hour drive.
So 2 hours. Okay, it's the same as distance from here, basically. Then.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit shorter. So your parents loved you enough to ship you off to some school.
No, it was my design.
You wanted to go.
Yeah.
You wanted to get out of home.
I did.
Why? Lafayette's a great little town. I would thought it'd be a great place to grow up.
It is. It was. It was just kind of this academic opportunity.
For high school, who was
high
who was caring about academics in high school? Did you?
Yeah.
I know
What
it
made you
was.
interested in that?
I don't know. It was just a place. I had gone there for like a summer camp, and I met all these other kids that were into art and literature and stuff that I was into, and I really wanted
So
to go
what
there.
sort of little kid
Wait.
were you? Were you? Yeah.
How good was their football team, though?
There was no football team. There was no
Let's
football
get down to
team.
brass
So
tacks.
wait a minute. You're telling me.
So
Okay,
you
Dad.
were you were a sort of an artsy little girl in Lafayette.
Yes,
Okay. And did you have any friends in Lafayette?
I did.
And what were they all like?
It was similar.
Similar.
A lot of them went up to the school with me.
Oh, they did.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And was it expensive to send you there?
No, it's a public school.
How cool.
You just pay. You have to get in. You have to like
So
apply.
why
like,
is
to
there a
college.
fancy school in Natchitoches of all places, which was founded by an Indian kid who walked for one day? The
They're-
oldest city in the world.
I don't know. They have schools like that in Texas and Tennessee and Alabama, and they're trying to develop talent.
But why is there one there of all places? Why not New Orleans
why is
or
it-
Lafayette, which would be
They were
more
affiliated with
interesting?
NSU, the college that's there.
NSU.
Yeah, because you need
I thought that was a
dormitories. You
venereal
need like
disease. What's that?
Northwestern State University.
Yeah. That would be NWS.
Well,
No,
Strictly speaking. Is
Northeastern?
Northwestern one word?
Northwestern is one
Joe,
word.
you're right.
Northwestern.
Northwestern's one word. Okay, take
they're
it back. I was wrong about that.
The demons, the purple
Spot on.
demons.
yeah.
Anyway, this is what I'm getting at.
Mm.
Is the next part of the sentence which says, which is where I met my husband.
Yeah,
You met your husband who looks like Jeff Goldblum in high school.
I did.
Holy shit, where was he from?
He's from the West Bank of New Orleans, Marrero.
And his parents shipped him off there because he was highly intelligent as well.
Well, he's a math guy, so
Right.
He decided to go there for
So is
math and
Jeff
science.
Goldblum's
He is.
character
I
in
was
Jurassic
there.
Park.
Wow! It's all adding
Is there
up.
no end to the similarity?
So what was he like in high school? Did he look like Jeff Goldblum then?
No, he was kind of a
He's grown into it.
yeah. He's grown into it.
What did he look like
definitely.
then?
He was a little bit nerdier than he looks now.
Did you look like you look now?
Yeah, but younger.
But just as gorgeous as you look now, but he didn't. But still,
No,
you
he
fell
was
in love
very
with him.
handsome. No, he was very handsome. We didn't date each other in high school. I don't know if I was misleading you with my
Well,
sentence.
that's just
So I met him there.
you
but,
met him there,
okay.
but you weren't dating him there,
No, he dated all of my friends.
except you.
Yeah, and
Why?
I dated all of his friends. We were just in that circle
Okay.
where we dated each other's friends.
So what sort of a high school was this? There's a dormitory there.
Two dormitories, one for boys.
And you were banging each other after school in these dorms?
not me and my husband.
No, but all the other guys you're dating. By dating, do we mean having sex with them?
No, I was just dating in high school.
Well, so I'm asking, what does that mean?
I would.
They just say, this is my boyfriend, but nothing really happens.
Well, the way it works at Louisiana school. Oh, I shouldn't say this.
Well, you haven't said it yet, so it's not too late to take it back.
Okay. Well, they just date. You know how kids date.
No, I'm asking you.
go
I
out-
have no idea.
They go out on walks.
Well, what does
and-
happen in Louisiana school?
Well, they go out on walks.
I feel like you're casting a
Walks.
large net when you say Louisiana schools and
'Cause you went to
what
school
they
in
do when
Louisiana,
they date.
yes.
Yeah, I don't know. But go ahead.
Andrew went to Archbishop Rummel, is that right?
Yeah.
You didn't date
Nice.
anybody there, right?
Twice. Yeah.
So what did you do in this? Going on walks?
Yeah, we go on walks. That's
What-
mostly what we would do. We'd
Go
watch
on a
movies.
walk.
Yeah. The thing is,
Okay.
when you're in high school and you live with your parents, you can have, you could go to your parents' houses and all that
Well,
stuff. You can't do that when you're
There's-
at a high school boarding school.
Yeah, there's that phase, which is like the freshman, sophomore years. But then, you're a junior and a senior, and you get a little bit more, freedoms. And a car.
Yeah.
And you figure out what to do with these things.
I snuck into the boys' dorm.
Yeah. There
Snuck
you go.
into the boys' dorm.
That's the idea.
We climbed into the rooms.
And to do what? To go on a walk?
No, we would just hang out.
So nobody's when you're dating all these guys,
Mm-hmm.
you dated all Jeff Goldblum's friends. How did you go from one to the other? How did you know when it was time to move on?
Oh well.
How did you get away from the raptors in the kitchen?
Stealth.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
okay, go
how
ahead.
did you know? How did you know when you got did you just mutually agree? Oh, I'm sick of dating you now. I'm going to go over to bunk number 3.
Yeah. Or
gonna-
my husband is
I'm
a
gonna
year,
not
is a
bang
year
that
older
guy.
than me, and so that class of guys would move on to college, and then you just break up.
Okay. So when did you start dating him?
About 4 years ago. Just met him over at French Quarter Fest.
4 years ago.
I mean, we have known
Hang
each other
on.
this entire time. Then we started
You're not
dating.
just out of high school, right?
No.
You are an
Oh gosh, no.
attorney.
Oh gosh.
So you had a whole life,
Yeah, I had a whole life.
and then you ran into this guy.
And he did too. Yes.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's even more romantic than I was thinking. I thought
Yeah.
you met this guy in
Clever
high school and
girl.
you shacked up with him, and then
No,
you've been together ever
no.
since.
No, we
That never works.
We never had any kind of
It does sometimes.
connect. Oh.
My
Really?
uncle
All
uncle
right.
was married since high school. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, that was a different day, and
Yeah, that was
What
a long time
shades
ago.
of gray.
That was a
What
long
state
time
is
ago.
your uncle in, John?
New York.
Really?
Really?
In New York City or upstate New York somewhere?
Close to the city.
Close to the city, and he's still with the girl he met in high school.
That's
That's
correct.
Pretty impressive, actually, I would say.
It is.
Because there's a lot of people in New York you could meet.
That's called old school family values. There's a lot of people there, but I don't know. They don't. He's not interested in it. I mean, who knows?
It would be great if you could just fall in love with someone you met in high school and stay together. That would solve a lot of problems right there, wouldn't it?
Certainly save you having to buy a couple of houses.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Or go on a weekend retreat with cousin Dimitri. By that time, it'd be fine. So what happened? How did you run into each other, you and Jeff Goldblum, lookalike?
We just happened to be, so this would be 2011, and we hadn't really seen each other since 2000. I graduated college in 2006, so I had gone to law school and was practicing as a lawyer, and we reconnected at French Quarter Fest, just met up and...
Just met up, or by reconnected intentionally, or by...
Not intentionally.
You ran into each other at French Quarter Fest?
Yes, and
What
just
street was that on?
On Canal Street, and just
Good
spent the
God.
day together, and...
Hang on a minute. You were walking down Canal Street by yourself at French Quarter Fest, or were you with cousin Dimitri at the time?
Okay, I was meeting some other guy who was with him. He was with...
You were meeting some other guy who
but
happened
not
to be with
romantically.
Jeff
The
Goldblum.
plot
Right.
thickens.
Did you know that Jeff Goldblum lookalike was going to be with the other guy?
No, I didn't know that.
So you made a plan to meet this guy.
Other guy, right.
And Jeff Goldblum lookalike from high school walks
Right.
up with him and you go, holy shit, I remember you from high school.
Yeah. And
Wow. On Canal Street.
Yeah.
And did you look at each other and it was like love at first sight?
kind of, actually. I remember, it's so cheesy.
No, come
Yeah, it
on.
kind of was. We like went over to the park and we like listened to somebody play some version of Hallelujah, and we were, I don't know, it was really romantic.
Like the Leonard Cohen
Yeah,
song?
it was some, I don't know, some New
We like
Orleans
hearing this,
rendition.
actually.
It was really beautiful.
Jaded people love hearing these kind
Yeah.
of things, actually. It's
Yes,
cool.
it's very inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you hope.
Yeah.
Are y'all all jaded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was until a little while ago.
I
but
wasn't
yeah.
until I met Jon
That's someone
Hatchett.
I'm realistic.
No, I am
You don't
too.
call it jaded?
I just took one look at Jon when he walked in. I fell immediately in love with him. So, but
Wow, nice.
yes.
Congratulations.
But that was.
Thanks.
What do you think happened between that you didn't? That of all the people in high school, that you were the two people who didn't date each other. What do you think that's all about? And why now? Why?
Oh, he was a player in high school.
Okay. And you were too, because you were dating everybody. You dated
Well, I
everybody
mean,
in the senior boys' dorm. Let's face it. You sneaked in. The other girls weren't sneaking into the dorm.
They absolutely were.
They were.
Yeah.
At least my friends were.
So all the girls were sneaking into the boys' dorm.
Yeah.
That was a great
And then
high
all the
school.
boys sneak into the girls' dorm and
Yeah.
You're
They
like,
just
where have
say,
all the
yeah,
girls
yeah,
gone?
yeah,
They've all
what's-
sneaked in
yeah,
the
what's
boys' dorm.
happened
They're all
here?
gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great story. I'm glad that we got that in the bio here. There's a lot of other stuff. And your husband works in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology at Tulane Medical School
Yes.
on vaccines. So he's like, not only does he look like Jeff Goldblum and he's your high school sweetheart, kind of, except he wasn't, but he's also saving the world.
He is. He
So
is.
it's a total Hollywood
Vaccines.
movie.
Well, Jeff Goldblum did that in Independence Day too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna go
So
with
he's
you on
actually
that.
doing
I
the
can't quite
office
remember what I'm
of
gonna
Jeff
go with.
Goldblum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what
At the same
vaccine
time.
is it? What's his name, by the way?
His name is Jacob.
Jacob.
Goldblum.
What is his
He's-
other name? Jacob what?
Bitoon. He's
Bitoon.
Jewish.
Crushed it.
Bitoon.
Bitoon. It's a French. His
That's
dad.
a Jewish name?
Yeah, his
I've
dad-
never even heard of it.
His dad was.
I thought I'd heard every Jewish name in the book, Andrew, didn't you?
Well, his dad was
Cohen,
French Algerian.
Levy. How did Bitoon get into it?
His dad was French Algerian before World War II. So
Like Albert Camus.
he's actually got a French passport because of his dad. His
handy.
dad's pre-World War II Algerian. So it
So
might.
your husband is Algerian?
Well, no, his father was. I mean, his father was French Algerian.
French Algerian. I don't know what that means. Does that make
I
you
don't know.
Algerian or French or neither?
Makes it both.
Both.
Yeah, there were
I
colonists.
knew there was another.
There were
combo
colonists
there.
in Algiers, the French one. Albert Camus was a French Algerian.
Albert
Was
Camus.
he?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. And he was the guy who wrote what?
He wrote
Jeff
The
Goldblum's
Stranger.
autobiography.
Also,
And
that
he was against
his
the death
best
penalty.
work. That was his best work. Yeah, against the death penalty.
No
he
exit.
wrote
Why do we
No
know his
exit.
name? What's he famous for?
The Myth of Sisyphus. He wrote The
The
Stranger.
Myth of Sisyphus.
And The Stranger is probably his most
In French.
Or No Exit, which
yeah,
is
in
the
French,
play.
but they've been widely translated
Right,
at
right.
this point. Yeah.
What did you study in school?
A little bit of everything, actually. I went to a liberal arts school, so I studied everything from philosophy to political science and ended up with nothing useful.
Useless.
Yeah,
Was Camus
exactly.
involved with it, or did you discover that afterwards?
No, yeah, when I found myself at the library reading other things while I was skipping class, I realized that really college wasn't for me.
Did you drop out?
No, I finished because I was the first person in my family to graduate from college, and it would have killed my parents had I not. So
Well, they're going to die anyway at some point.
went through, yeah, exactly. But there'd be a long period of disappointment that would have hurt me.
How do they feel about you being a failed everything?
Oh, well, they're actually pretty good. Pretty
They're
good,
not-
because
they're
at
not
least
what?
I don't ask them for money anymore.
Oh, that's good. Where are they?
They live in Michigan. That's
Michigan.
where where
you're
I'm from.
originally.
Yeah,
How
that's where
did you
I'm from
end up
originally.
drifting down here?
I got out of graduated college in 2000. Went into the Peace Corps because I wasn't ready to do anything much after that. So I went down into the Peace Corps. I spent 2 years in Bolivia, and then another little while after that, kind of traveling around. Tried to move back up to Michigan. Spent one winter in Detroit, and
That'll do it to you, yeah,
to
right.
hell with this. And
So why New Orleans?
the tradition, the literary tradition down here, and I just had come down on a train right after Katrina, and had never
Hold on.
been here before. Took a look around the place and just, I mean, sometimes you just go to a place and you see it, and it just speaks to you directly, and that's. I took a look around and I said, I'm not
That's
going.
it. I think that's the thing about New Orleans. You either come here and love it or come here and hate it.
Yeah.
People either come here and go, oh my God, why didn't I move here years ago? Or how can you stand the heat and the smell?
Yeah, there are some things that just like they speak to you, you know,
Right.
like very, very right in your face, and this place was like that for me, and it's inspired me every day. You know, you kind of, I'm sure like everyone who lives here kind of has these moments where you're walking around and you kind of feel like you're on a movie set sometimes, or you're like walking through the page of a book.
Sure.
Like you see these characters walking around in the city, or
Well, plus the place is just beautiful. Every
Yeah.
time you go down a street, every time you turn the corner. there's
and the
something.
people are like it nurtures this eccentricity in
You
people.
can totally
like,
do whatever you want here.
Exactly, and
You
it's
can-
encouraged,
And nobody,
not just tolerated.
Exactly, it's encouraged. Well put.
Yeah.
Nobody looks down on you for being a server at Herb Stand and being a poet.
I mean, that's
It's
pretty
like-
much the way the art world works these
Yeah,
days.
yeah, that's really cool. That's a great story. Good
Oh.
thing you moved here. So you're not leaving.
Oh no, I'll I think at the end of my bio it says I'll be here until my inevitable death.
I did underline that. It says
Yeah.
he will remain there until his inevitable death. Well, do we know it's inevitable?
Well, I mean, there's nothing.
One more
that-
of those
There's only one
straight
thing.
gins, and you might preserve yourself forever.
I guess only two things that are inevitable.
Medicine is constantly
One's
making
taxes.
strides, you know. So
Yeah, that's what I think. We don't know that anything's inevitable at this point. Hey, John, you want to play a song for us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What are you
we'll
going to
go
play?
get the guitar.
Okay.
You know, I was just thinking about that. I think I might play a song that I just wrote. It'll be the world premiere of it. It's called
Yes, okay.
It's called You Can't Regret What You Don't Remember. It's about drinking.
That's a great idea. Okay.
Can I use a theme song for my book?
That would be a great. That could be a good title for you. I'm going to write that down as well. You can't regret what you don't remember. Is that a legal defense?
Is that
That would,
actually?
no. Well, intoxication can be.
Intoxication
All right,
can
I'm
be a
not-
Under
defense.
certain
Did you hear that,
circumstances.
John?
Under
in a
certain
sense,
circumstances.
yeah.
I'm basically a
Really?
lawyer. That's why I write these songs.
Yeah.
It's just to consult people, you know, let them know what's right. Oh, God. All right, here we go. All right. If there's one thing about booze that's nice, you can't regret what you don't remember. Getting drunk and throwing the dice, bet all your money and you don't think twice. You can't regret what you don't remember. You can't regret what you forget till someone called you up. Tell you a little story all about yourself. You might regret what you don't remember. If you was a sad-mouth crying fool, can't regret what you don't remember.
picking fights and being rude. You can't regret what you don't remember. You can't regret what you forget. Till someone calls you up and tell you a little story all about yourself. You might regret what you don't remember. Elephant in the room and a monkey on your lap. Squirrel in your arm and you're laying on your back. You can't regret what you don't remember.
Yes.
All right.
A country music classic, if ever I heard one. You can't forget.
You can't regret.
You can't regret what you can't remember.
It's still a work in progress, you know.
It's good.
But
What do you, Andrew?
I think you just came up with a rhyme there. You can't regret what you do forget. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Is
can't.
that another good line? Write it down.
Yeah, no, that's in the song. You can't regret what you forget till
There you
someone
go.
calls you up.
There it is.
Ah,
Yeah.
that
Tells
is
you a
really.
little bit
Oh, I love that.
story
What do you
about
think?
yourself.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
thought that was great.
I love country songs where the hook is just the fucking like, love it already.
Yeah,
you know?
it's perfect. I would have
Yeah.
you all back every show. This is just a great bunch of people.
We
isn't
we
it?
get tired of ourselves.
I'm having a great
eventually.
time.
But yeah,
You think eventually we'd have to
I
invite
could
someone
do
else?
one more with you fuckers, but that's about
Okay,
it.
that's going to be it. All right, well, let's organise that. That's the end of Happy Hour for this week. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thanks for having us.
It's been great to have you. Jon Hatchett from the Jon Hatchett Band, Meghan Harwell, and Joe Toman on his fourth drink. How many is that you've had now?
I started a little early today, actually.
Yeah.
I got my time switched up today, so I ended up showing up here an hour early.
That was 2 drinks
Nice
in.
work.
Yeah, and then it was
And
a
now
couple
you're
of drinks in.
3 drinks in, 5.
Charcuterie
gin-
plate was great.
That's
couple of
nice
drinks.
here. The food's great here at Wayfare. So you're up to 5 gins.
Yeah.
That's almost 2 liters, which is a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a great way
And
to
he
go
brings it
out.
full circle.
Yeah, and that's it. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. That's Happy Hour for this week. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh as our music director. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour, drop us a line. Our address is on our website where you can also check out many more happy hours, as well as some other shows we make here at INO Broadcasting. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. True to the Game with the fabulous Chris True. Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss and the Man Who Ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker. Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu. And the revolutionary new way to buy a house in New Orleans, Unlisted NOLA. You can keep up with us on Facebook, on Twitter, and also a bunch of other time-sucking social media. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook and Google Plus pages that no one even goes to, not even people who work at Google. Those photos are taken today by the fabulous Alison Moon from Lafayette, who's sitting over there on the phone and taking photos at the same time. If you're listening to this show on iTunes or on Stitcher or some other podcast app you prefer, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you can, to stop everything right now and rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street, where they put fine dining into a sandwich, fine booze into a glass, and brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, who's back from the UK for a while, welcome home. I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Geico presents Yikes! Another voicemail from your roommate.
Sup, roomie? Hey, a pipe burst in the basement. It's completely flooded. Anyway, I called for someone to fix it, but in the meantime, I was thinking we could finally have that indoor pool party we've always wanted. I got some cool swan floaty things already going. Could you pick up some chips on your way home? Later.
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your personal property protected, like if your roommate isn't the brightest pool float in the flooded basement. Visit geico.com to see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.